The figure of Melchizedek is shrouded in mystery and intrigue in the Bible, and yet his significance cannot be overlooked. Though his appearance in the scriptures is brief, the story of Melchizedek holds profound meaning and relevance for us today. In this video, we will delve into the biblical account of Melchizedek, unravel his identity, and explore why he is important to us. Melchizedek, whose name means King of Righteousness, is introduced to us in the book of Genesis in the Old Testament. He emerges in the narrative as the King of Salem and a priest of God Most High. His appearance is unique and distinct, as he is both a king and a priest, combining roles that were traditionally separate. Melchizedek's encounter with Abraham, the patriarch of Israel, marks a significant moment in biblical history. After Abraham's victory in battle, he encounters Melchizedek, who blesses him and offers bread and wine. Abraham responds by giving a tithe, or a tenth, of everything he possesses to Melchizedek. One of the reasons why Melchizedek is important to us is his portrayal as a foreshadowing of Jesus Christ. In the New Testament book of Hebrews, Melchizedek is described as a type or an archetype of Christ. He becomes a significant figure in understanding the nature and ministry of Jesus, particularly as both a king and a priest. Melchizedek's dual role as a king and a priest is significant because it merges two important offices in the Bible. In the Old Testament, the kingship and the priesthood were generally separate roles. However, Melchizedek serves as a precursor to Jesus, who would later fulfill both roles perfectly as the ultimate king and high priest. For this Melchizedek, king of Salem, priest of the Most High God, met Abraham returning from the slaughter of the kings and blessed him, and to him Abraham apportioned a tenth part of everything. He is first, by translation of his name, King of Righteousness, and then he is also King of Salem, that is, King of Peace. He is without father or mother or genealogy, having neither beginning of days nor end of life, but resembling the Son of God, he continues a priest forever. Hebrews 7:1-3, ESV. Furthermore, Melchizedek's offering of bread and wine to Abraham carries symbolic meaning. This act foreshadows the institution of the Lord's Supper, or the Holy Communion in Christianity, where bread represents Christ's body and wine represents his blood. Melchizedek's offering becomes a precursor to the ultimate sacrifice of Jesus on the cross. Melchizedek's significance is also highlighted by his connection to the concept of righteousness. His name, King of Righteousness, emphasizes the importance of righteousness in our relationship with God. Just as Melchizedek's name speaks of righteousness, Jesus Christ, the ultimate high priest, brings righteousness and reconciliation between God and humanity. The absence of detailed genealogy for Melchizedek in the biblical account is another aspect that makes him intriguing. In the book of Hebrews, this omission is highlighted to emphasize Melchizedek's eternal priesthood. Without a recorded genealogy, Melchizedek is depicted as a priest without a beginning or an end, underscoring the eternal nature of his priesthood. Melchizedek's importance is further emphasized by the comparison made in the book of Hebrews between his priesthood and the Levitical priesthood. The Levitical priesthood, established through the descendants of Aaron, was an integral part of the Israelite religious system. However, the book of Hebrews presents Melchizedek as a superior priesthood that predates and surpasses the Levitical order. Like Melchizedek, he remains a priest forever. This becomes even more evident when another priest arises in the likeness of Melchizedek, who has become a priest, not on the basis of a legal requirement concerning bodily descent, but by the power of an indestructible life. Hebrews 7:17-16, ESV. This verse highlights the comparison between Melchizedek's priesthood and the Levitical priesthood, emphasizing Melchizedek's superiority and eternal nature. Melchizedek's significance to us lies in the implications of his priesthood for believers in Christ. The book of Hebrews teaches that Jesus, as the eternal high priest in the order of Melchizedek, offers a better covenant and brings a greater salvation. This highlights the superiority of Christ's work and the access we have to God through him. The legacy of Melchizedek challenges us to consider the broader scope of God's redemptive plan. His appearance in the biblical narrative serves as a reminder that God's work and purpose extend beyond the confines of any specific lineage or religious system. Melchizedek's priesthood transcends cultural and historical boundaries, pointing to the universal nature of God's grace and salvation. Furthermore, Melchizedek's story encourages us to embrace the mystery and wonder of God's ways. The limited information provided about him invites us to exercise faith and trust in God's sovereignty. It reminds us that there are aspects of God's plan that may be beyond our understanding, and yet we can rest assured that he is working all things for his purposes. Melchizedek's significance also lies in his representation of the divine order and authority. As a king and a priest, he embodies the unity of power and spiritual leadership. This reminds us of the holistic nature of God's kingdom, where earthly and spiritual realms intersect. It challenges us to seek God's guidance in all areas of our lives, recognizing his sovereignty over every aspect. Moreover, Melchizedek's story serves as a call to honor and worship God with our resources. Abraham's act of tithing to Melchizedek demonstrates the principle of giving back to God, acknowledging his provision and authority. It prompts us to examine our own stewardship and generosity, recognizing that everything we possess ultimately belongs to God. In conclusion, Melchizedek holds a significant place in biblical history and theology. His identity and role as a king and priest, along with his foreshadowing of Jesus Christ, highlight the intricate tapestry of God's redemptive plan. Melchizedek's story challenges us to deepen our understanding of God's righteousness, embrace his mysterious ways, and honor him with our lives. Through Melchizedek, we catch a glimpse of the grandeur and depth of God's love and purpose for humanity.